All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming today on a Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you guys are. But there's a lot of other things that you could be doing with on a weekend than this. So I really appreciate you guys coming on board. To continue our conversations on different strategies on how to grow your business. Prospecting, I assume and I believe we're gonna be talking about that for a little bit. It's such a huge subject. There's so many techniques. They all work and they could also not work if you don't do them right. So what I would suggest is that you guys take notes, or you'll get the recording as well. But try everything, because each technique is different for each market and for each product. So you will have to try everything. And it could be challenging, especially if you're a solopreneur or if you're managing a sales team, on how to make sure that that you're doing everything at times. It could be, it's a full-time job. But if you do it if you do it right, and if you use technology, it can make your life a lot easier as well. So let's jump right in. All right. And I'm gonna be looking at in here. Just that's my presentation, but I'm gonna have the chat open. So if you guys need me or anything, just say something on the chat. You can also come on mute and we can talk. I believe last time we left off at social media. So all of these techniques are great. There are different ways of reaching your audience. You also have to take into account who's your audience. So that's why we did the ICP. So once you do the ICP, you're going to analyze what their behaviors are, where do they spend their time, because that's where you have best chances of getting their attention. So if you do a social media outreach or an email campaign, or text messages, or even call strategies, there's something that you have to do before you start, sitting down and crafting all of these messages. So with social media and email campaign, you may want to sit down and you can have the chat GPT help you if you wanted to. You can also do it yourself if you're good with emails and messages. Have a template of, like, more or
Oh,
less what you want to say, what the message that you want to convey, using again their pain points, integrating your offer. There's a whole science to copywriting, so make sure that you do some research on that. And we can probably do, I think next
anak,
I'll do copywriting,
Daryl.
because there's a huge science behind it. Um, so very similar with text messaging. Text messaging, if you're using a CRM, is very tricky, because you would do pay per segment. Each segment is around 160 characters. So it can be expensive. Additionally, laws are very regulated here in the United States on text messaging, especially cold text messaging. So if you're doing business to business, it's a little bit less restricted, but if you're doing business to consumer, you can actually get into some serious fines with doing cold text messaging. So only do that and proceed that with caution. If you have business owners' cell phone numbers, it could be very, very effective. These are text messaging is like one of the most the highest, the ones that have open rates. But just proceed with caution. Cold calling, I know a lot of people don't like it. Personally, I have a love-hate relationship with cold calling. You do get a lot of people that get very brave on the phone, and they start, treating people badly, but it's not even about that. So just make sure that you're focusing on the positive things and not the negative. The way that I do it is I do it as a game. So I set myself up, let's say, for a 2-hour cold calling, or you could even do it an hour. It could be exhausting. So if it's your first time doing cold calling, just do an hour. Block your time for that time frame. You're not taking any calls. You're not responding to any emails. You're only doing cold calling. Have a script or bullet points ready for you to talk about. And it also works if you have objection overcoming scripts as well. So on your product, things that people might tell you, oh, I can't do it because of this, or I'm not interested because of that. You can practice overcoming objections. One cool game that I got from someone else that you can do in ChatGPT is have it help you practice. So the prompt will be, let's play a game. I would like to practice overcoming objections. You are my ICP, insert ICP, and please give me some objections, and then you can tell it to be even tougher with you. So that way you're able to do that on the go, like while you're on the call. I will also do a whole webinar on just call calling, and then also objection overcoming. I think that deserves, the objection overcoming deserves a whole hour. Okay, so there's something that is in common in all of these. So how do you know where to find them? Because you have your persona, but how do you find them? So with social media, it's a little bit easier. You have basically social media already have their database built in. So Facebook has a lot of Facebook group pages that you can join that would be oriented to the product that you're looking for or the industry that you're looking for. Like, for example, if you're doing B2B and your ideal client will be a realtor, there's a lot of realtor groups out there that you can join. If you're doing B2C and you're a roofer and you want to connect with homeowners, there's also a lot of groups on being a homeowner, buying your first home, and things of that nature. You could also start your own Facebook group and start recruiting people that way. That takes a little bit more of, that will be a long-term goal in that regard. But you can start connecting with people online. So either Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And then doing a direct message, which is also very, very effective. You do have to invest some time in the initial part of it. So it might take you about, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks if you're consistent to actually start seeing results in there, but it could be very effective. There's also automations out there with Facebook. Try not to do automations because Facebook is very good at detecting those and they'll shut it down real quick. Same thing with Instagram. It's the same company, so same thing. LinkedIn has a little bit more flexibility when it comes to automations. You do have to invest a little bit of money on that because they work better if you have Sales Navigator. And the automations companies or like the websites themselves, you do have to invest. So that will probably cost you it depends on the licenses, between $100 to $140 per month to do LinkedIn outreach automations, but they could also be very effective. And you can consider those, the LinkedIn, not talking about Facebook or Instagram. If you have if you're pressed with time, but you still need to make sure that you're not neglecting prospecting. So that's a good choice for you. With email campaigns and text messaging and cold calling. How do you find them? Like, how are you going to find their phone number or their email address in order for you to be able to send all of these messages? So there's several ways that you can do so. Tricks of the trade. One of my hidden tricks that I love to use and is free, so it's even better, um, is True People Search. So if you do, for example, if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram and you find a person that you want to target, you know that there's this, they own a business or they're a homeowner or whatever the case is, you want to target this person. You can come in here and actually do a search. You can do a search by name, phone number, address, or email. The email is not that accurate, but you can do the name or the phone number. And obviously you'll have to use discernment in order for you to find a person. So if you're looking for John Smith, there's going to be in that without any filters right there, there's 245 records. So you'll have to find out where they live. If you have the city, even better. If you have the address, even better, because this does give you their phone number, their cell phone number, and the address as well. I'm not gonna go down and show that. But you will have to go in there and click on it one by one and verify that that's your person. However, once you find it, you know, you're golden. It will give you the personal email address and the phone number in most cases. So you can start doing your thing. And it's completely free, so there's no initial investment, especially if you're starting a new business or something, this is a good way to do it. The downside of it is that it's very time consuming. You do spend a lot of time trying to find a person and making sure that that's the right person. And then you have to call them. So on each prospect, on average, it could be like between 5 to 15, 20 minutes. But to actually find the right person. So, you know, if you're doing an hour prospecting that day, you'll only be able to get through just a handful of people. However, again, it's free, so it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. Another good tool would be Apollo. They are a database company, so you can put in here, let's say, you can do, all right, so here we go. You have the companies already. This is only B2B, so if you do B2C, this won't help you. And unfortunately, B2C is very tough. There's not a lot of ways out there for you to actually do prospecting. So if you're a solar or a roofing company and you're targeting a homeowner, a lot of times this is why they go door knocking, because that probably will give them better results than trying to do online search. I do have a trick for that though. It's not impossible, it's just harder and it's a little bit more cost effective. It's a little bit more costly. So Apollo is very inexpensive. I think their membership started like $30, $40, something like that. You do get only like a certain amount of contacts that you can research. But chances are that you'll be able to find more information. So this is basically the decision makers in there. And they do give you some information. Right now, I just opened discount, so I don't know if it will give me the email address. It didn't, okay. Where did we? So you probably have to do the initial subscription, the $20, $30 one, in order for you to actually get that. that contact that you'll be able to connect with them on social media as well. So you can do direct message to them as well in there. I wouldn't say this is the most accurate, but is a good start for you, especially if you have low budget and you can't spend a lot of money on prospecting. This is a good tool. It will do the job. It will get you some leads. And then hopefully from there, you can start investing some more money in prospecting. And you can narrow down your filters in here and get better at targeting your prospect and finding your decision makers. So that's a good tool. Comparing this to ZoomInfo, for example, ZoomInfo is incredibly expensive. I believe they're starting licenses. They start at like 15,000, I believe. I could be wrong, but they're very, very, very expensive, and they don't give you all the information. So they might give you a cell phone number. They'll give you maybe an office phone number. You might be able to get the email address. They are very good at keeping like company records though. But they don't have like, sometimes it's not very up to date. So that's the downside of it. But ZoomInfo could be an also good B2B solution. Okay, so we have two. This one was free. This one was low investment. And then I'll show you guys another one, but this one is what's this one? This is meant to be a call email system, which you want to invest on. Do not, for God's sakes, do not use your domain to send cold email outreach, because you will damage your reputation, your domain reputation. And once that's damaged, it's almost impossible to fix it, and you most likely will have to get another domain for you to get another email address. So if you're doing cold outreach, invest on a cold email service. This company, I'm showing it to you on a prospecting side because they do have a CRM. And where is it? They have, where is it? They give you access to also finding leads. I can't remember where it was. Oh, I think I gotta go to my subscriptions. This is the free account. So yeah, it's part of the Hyper CRM. So you do have to pay for it, is a subscription. They basically give you access similarly to Apollo, but the cool thing about it is that it's inside your full email server. So you can just basically transfer over the lead and put them into a campaign if you have campaign built already. So this is where you build your campaigns. You'll have to connect your email, or you can buy warm emails from them already. I have to go here. So you can buy pre-warm email accounts, or you can set up, if you have already domains that are basically disposable that you want to use those, you can do that. What is a pre-warm email account? A pre-warm email account means that they have been sending out emails from that account for some time to build the reputation. So what they do is internally, they'll have all of these domains and accounts that are basically sending emails to each other. They're obviously not they're not real emails, they're simulating the activity. How that helps is because then the email service provider, the EMS, will see that as a real domain, and it won't block it as a spam. So once you start sending actual cold emails for yourself, it will already have some traction. If you have an account that has never been sending emails like that before, you definitely want to start slow and you want to warm it up. So meaning you'll have to do only 30 emails per day, and they are very good at helping you with that. So if you go into your campaign and you go into the options, you can actually set a daily limit. The downside with that is that if you have, thousands of people that you're trying to reach out, having a 30-day limit per day is going to take you forever to go through that list. So if you have your own domains, you may want to have to set up separate email accounts for each domain. So the recommended would be like 5 or 6 accounts for each domain, and then connect them all in here. If you buy their pre-warmed email, they'll do all of that for you. So from each domain, you get, I believe, 5 or 6 email accounts, and then you can start sending cold emails like that. And since they will be warm, those you can set up like few hundred per day. I would say like between 500 and 600 per day, because that account is already being warmed. All right, so the other one. The other one I have is. Okay, so there are services out there. These are more expensive, but if you want to start getting quicker results, you might want to spend a little bit of money on that. That's what it's called, data brokers. And Apollo essentially is a data broker. ZoomInfo also is a data broker. What they do is they'll sell you data that they have. They're data brokers, as there are realtors. There's a lot of them out there. Some of them are better than others. Not two are the same. No two are the same. So for example, I am a data broker, and if you need something, you can always reach out to me. I believe some of you know that I have a license for data breaking, for data brokerage. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to get intent-driven audiences and B2B information. What does that mean? Intent-driven audiences is what every big corporation is doing, that they're spending on their marketing department. So, for example, if you are looking for a pair of shoes online, let's say that you want in search for a pair of Nikes, and you were at work and you were looking at work for this pair of shoes, and you found them, you didn't buy them, so you got busy, and then you forgot to buy them and you went home. Then you remember at night, or actually you didn't even remember, you're scrolling on any social media platform, and boom, the same exact shoes that you were looking at are on your feed. It's not a coincidence. It was by design. So they're able to see and track basically your habits as a consumer. There's something called a consumer fingerprint, or consumer digital fingerprint. What this does is that it gathers your information as a consumer, and it encrypts it, and it puts it all into an encrypted file so that every social media platform is able to see it or to decipher it. So it's not like public information out there. But they are able to follow and track your habits as a consumer. And the advantage as a business for you in that regard is that you're able to see who's looking for products similar to yours. And in that regard, you can actually do some type of outreach to those people. So the system that I use, I don't want to show too many of the lists in here because this list that I've done for some of my clients, but this is the intent driven one, and this is the business to business. Is able to give you obviously the personal information, so first and last name, you'll get their mobile number and direct number, and if they have a business number as well, you'll get their mailing address, their work address, their company information, in some cases, even the household income and the credit rating. You'll also get skip trace information on it as well. So there's a lot of data points that you get with that. Those are quite expensive for you to get those, but the advantage again is that you'll get every single data point. So going back to the roofing company, if you're a roofer, if you're doing door to door, you can actually get a list like this that has intent on it. And find out which homeowner is actually looking to replace their roof. You'll get their address. You can actually set up a date that you will be in the neighborhood door knocking, and you happen to be in that neighborhood. If you're, same example of the sneakers, you can actually do a retail pool as well, so you'll be able to know who's looking for a certain like clothes or something, or brand. You can do Nike, and then you'll be able to pull from there as well. So this type of data will be able to pull business to business or business to consumer. On the business to business side, there's something also that it doesn't have intent driven with it. That will just essentially give you all the business to business information. So if you're looking for roofing companies in Florida, you will be able to do a search of all the roofing companies in Florida, and you get that list. You can do it by seniority. So if you just want to focus on like the business owners, it will give you that. And I know that there's other data brokerages out there that will give you similar information.
Gabby, what was the name of that one?
That is called message me and we'll talk about it offline, because that data brokerage is supposed to be only for marketing agencies. So I really don't want to, because I'm going to post this on YouTube. I don't want to put it out there because you have to get qualified, but message me and I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So the other ways that you can find people too is by doing a Google or LinkedIn search, and you can do a data scrape, data miner. I'll have it for you next time because I forgot what you can put on, because I never use it, but I know that this is possible. So you can go on Google. I'll do a touch base on this next time and put essentially LinkedIn companies, roofing LinkedIn companies, and it will give you a list of all the roofing companies, owners that are on LinkedIn, and then you can do a page scraper. So there's one that I use a lot, is called Data Miner. And Data Miner will do your scrape on LinkedIn or on Google. Basically, it just scrapes your websites, and you can do a multiple website scrape as well. I'm trying to set this up in here so that I can show you guys if we're looking for staying with the roofing company example. So this. That's not. So, on LinkedIn, if you look for roofing companies, you'll have all your filters in there. Whatever filters you feel like doing, but for sake of the example, I'm gonna do this. You will come in here and then, or you can do roofing company owners. There we go. Roofing owner. And then it will give you all the results. You can set this up. Data miner is the one that I've used in the past, and as you can see, you can sign up for free. You go through all the steps, and then this one you can set it up that it will crawl several different websites. So if you set it up to crawl this search page, it will go into each individual link and scrape that information for you. And then it will also go into each individual page and scrape their links as well. So at the end, you'll get an Excel spreadsheet that will say number information, name information, email, company name, and all that. So you can start doing your outreach that way. All right, so we have about 20 minutes. That was a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. So that's how you can start finding people online, or yeah, start finding people online. So it will take you, if you want to do if you want to start doing time blocking, I would suggest that you take one day and start doing some of those searches so that you can come in the day that you're prepared for full outreach and just sit down and go to town and start doing it without having to do a research every single time. So if you're time blocking yourself 5 days a week, let's say 2 hours per day. The first day, spend those 2 hours on a Monday and do all the research, get it out of the way. So that way on Tuesday, you have a list that is ready to go and you can start doing all of these. So you'll go to Instantly and set up your campaign in there. You'll buy your your warm email domains and start doing that. You'll go to their social media and start sending out their DMs to them. And then the next day, you can start doing text messaging. If you use the data brokers like the one that I gave you, that I have, you'll have their text messages. So you'll have their cell phone number. You'll be able to text them. That's what I meant to say. And again, be cautious, look at your rules and regulations on your state and on your city when it comes to that. If you're doing B2B, it's a little bit more flexible. If you're doing B2C, do not do this. And you can't ever say that I didn't warn you. One of the most effective ones in my own perspective is cold calling, but you do have to master it. And if you are not very effective with it, I would start with the messaging outreach first, and then get those out of the way, because you can set them all up differently every single day. And at least if you do the automations, you can have them go automatically out, and you'll start outreaching people that way. And then the following week, you can start doing cold calling. And that will also give you time for you to practice with ChatGPT. Have a script handy and a bullet point handy and or a bullet point handy, and then your objection list also prepared. So that way you're not caught up in a phone call, caught off guard. But if you are caught off guard, not a big deal. If they curse you out, not a big deal. If you messed out, it's not a big deal. If you don't feel like overcoming any objections in that particular conversation because you don't like that person too much, it's not a big deal. You can always pick up the phone and call the next person. But in order for you to effectively do this, try to master all of that so that you're not just there calling random people and not getting any results. However, if you start doing that, calling just random people, and even if you're not getting results, you will get better. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that try to prepare yourself for it if you can. But if you're not able to, just do it, because you'll take a feel out of it and know what you need to have prior to start doing the cold calling next time. And just be ready to be first out or hung up on, because people are very brave when random people call them. So one fun game that I had at one point was I will have a bet with my coworkers. I will have a bet on how many times we were gonna get cursed out that day, and whoever lost it or whoever won got free Starbucks. Whoever lost it had to buy it. So you can start making games out of it. Like, please just make it fun, because otherwise it's gonna be so dreadful that you're not gonna do it. You're gonna find every single excuse available, and you're gonna make up any excuse for you not to do it.
Gabby, something that I learned is role playing. So
Yep.
grab a friend and make them pretend they're a customer, and then tell them to go as hard as they can.
Yeah, I'm telling you, ChatGPT could be your friend. I've done that with ChatGPT, and like sometimes I'm driving and I want to just practice, so I grab ChatGPT. I have the app, and it has voice enable, so I'm just talking to ChatGPT and I'm telling ChatGPT, pretend that you're this and this person, and then please be hard on me. Don't let me go easy. And then ChatGPT can also give you feedback afterwards too.
Nice.
If you don't have ChatGPT, you don't like AI, which I don't know what you put in. You can also do it with a friend, or you can do all of that and then try have a wide variety of different scenarios that you can practice with too. Because if you do it with a friend, it's also more fun than if you're just doing it with ChatGPT. Message behind that is that if you don't have someone that you can practice with, just grab some form of AI and have it help you. Other creative forms of outreach, these are very, very old school, but they still work, is mailers and flyers, and door knocking. Door knocking is not just for roofers or for solar brokers. It works for B2B. If you come in, especially if you are on the field and you have a little package put together, what I like to do, hang on. You guys didn't hear that. What I like to do is I have something like this in my car. It's just a brown gift bag, and you can have your collateral, meaning your flyer, in there, and then I'll put like a few cookies. You can go to any Target, any Publix, and they have like prepackaged cookies, or you can do candy, especially if it's around February or October, or you can do something if something is going on, like for example for Super Bowl today, tomorrow. For Super Bowl, they have like the little bowl shaped chocolates that you can include in here. Point is, do something, a little gift that will make it easier for you to leave behind. your business card and a flyer. This has closed business for me time and time and time and time again. It is still very old school, but it works, especially now with AI and everything is digital. I feel like prospects actually appreciate you trying to be more personal with it. And if you're able to put a sticker in here with your company logo, so that way is a little bit more personalized in your logo, branded, I should say. That really, really works. And then mailers and flyers, this is also good. If you're business to consumer, you can do the mailers, yeah, with like a catalog or a menu or something like that. If you're business to business, you can do your flyer, your collateral with the list of services. A lot of times, it's about being in the right place at the right time, but you won't be able to be in the right place at the right time if you don't try everything. That's why I'm saying, like, just try everything, especially if you're just starting your business and you don't have a pipeline already built. Just do everything. Something will stick. With I'm gonna briefly cover this, but probably I'll do this with you guys next week. We can do the first hour will be copy, like creating the copy, and then the second half will be doing AI automations that are personalized. So one thing that I really have fallen in love with AI, especially in the prospecting side, is that you can have an automation, let it be GoHighLevel or let it be on Make or Zapier, where the AI is actually visiting the person's website or LinkedIn URL and actually crafting the email specifically for that person. So instead of you spending hours trying to do this individually for each individual person, no, your AI is doing that. That takes a little bit more of investment because OpenAI is not cheap when it comes to automations, and then you also have to pay for like the subscriptions on the stuff that I mentioned. But once you start, like if you start with the free ones first, and then now you're starting to build a pipeline and your time is reduced on the amount of time that you can spend prospecting, you want to transition into automated outreach so that you can still, you're not lacking on your outreach, you're still able to do outreach, and you're still able to do your fulfillment, and you are able to service your clients that you're landing at this point. So it's a way for you to task without actually having to lack on the service opportunities. And then targeted and ads content. You can also do this automated. We will cover that at some point down the road. But this can also be 100% automated. And the ads, I would recommend that you do it more personalized, especially if you're spending money on ads. Ads could be expensive. You can start small. You can start like $10 to $15 per day to start building an audience, but then they could get expensive. Some people spend like hundreds of thousands a month on ads alone. But done right with the right strategy behind it, they could be incredibly effective and a great source for you to buy customers. So essentially in here you will be buying customers. With the content, if you're able to use a content platform that will make your life easier posting, you could also automate it too. Like GHL, you can automate the content, and you can just also post it in all platforms at the same time. That will save you a lot of time. And that's an organic way for you to start also reaching your customers. this will also give you more credibility as well, and more it helps people gain trust if they see you posting about your specific skill online, because they can go in there and then watch your videos and get a better connection with you in essence, and see that you're proving that you know what you're talking about. They're not just talking to a complete stranger, and then they need to start gathering proof that you are knowledgeable in the service that you're trying to sell them. Because ultimately, no one will buy you if they don't trust you. So trust is the main thing that you need to focus on, and you can start building trust by building trust related or trust building content. And then we'll do also the automated AI. We're almost at the end, so that's why I'm just mentioning these. Once you start getting into campaigns and automations, you're gonna want to go in there and start doing optimization. So these things are really good because they give you the ability to start getting some more time in your day if you automate a lot of these things. But you also need to make sure that you're optimizing, because messages get stale and people interests change. So you can't just have the same message for a whole year and expect to have amazing results. You have to keep optimizing it. And then this is something that is, if you know me, you know me, that you know that I'm really good at. And I love to have the personal touch. So networking events, referrals, and content marketing, as I was mentioning before. That is a very organic, very good way to start gaining trust. If people know you or met you at a networking event, they have the opportunity to start getting to know you on a personal basis. And again, start building that trust so that they can actually buy from you. The same thing with the referrals. Trust is already built in because you come referred by somebody that they know. So the trust is already built into the sales process, so you don't have to spend time building that. And then next we will go over the personalized approach, especially using AI. I think I'm gonna cut it off in there and give you guys some time to see if you guys have any questions whatsoever, if you want me to cover any other point at this point, if you want me to show you something else that you didn't get anything, you can come off mute or type it in the chat.
I have a question, Gabby, about audiences and the data brokerage. Seamless, is that a data brokerage or is that an audience outreach?
Which one?
Seamless.
I don't know. Do you have their website?
Yeah, it's seamless.ai. It's kind of like a
Oh, Seamless.
yeah.
I've
Because that's
heard of
very
them.
expensive too. Yeah. It's like the super extra fancy version of Instantly. But I don't know if it'll do the same outreach.
So, what happens, I know with Instantly, I don't know with Seamless. I will have to look into it. I can look into it and let you know next weekend.
Okay. That's great.
What happens with Instantly, for example, they partner up with Apollo and I believe maybe even Zoom Info, and that's how they get some of the data, so that you're able to build it right into the CRM. I don't know where they get their data. So like I said, there's a lot of data brokerages out there, and some of them are better than others. And ZoomInfo, I used to live by ZoomInfo for a very long time until I found the one that I'm using now. And now I realize how bad they were as far as like accuracy and the amount of information they give you. And I'm assuming, I'm going to presume that will be in the same level, that the amount of information that they give you is not the same. And it's probably there's gonna be some accuracy faults. And don't get me wrong, there's the person that tells you that their data is 100% accurate, you need to like run the other way, because
Mm-hmm.
no data set is going to be 100% accurate, but there's accuracy levels too. The company that I use, they have between they have an average of like 97-98% accuracy. So again, it's not going to be perfect, but from what I've seen and I've tried, I mean, I have 20 years of sales and business development experience, so I have tried just about everything under the sun. I haven't tried this, but I'll do some research on it and see what their deal is. But I'm presuming that it's going to be similar to Instantly in that regard too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for the question. Anyone else? Anytime. Thank you for coming, Stefano. And thank you, Randy. All right, so if you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna stop my recording there. And if you guys want to hang out, you can hang out for a little bit. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic weekend.